Melissa Hambrick-Jackson, President of Eagle Center for Leadership. Welcome today to Digging In. Digging In is our opportunity to partner with leaders and really pick their brain, really learn from them and learn what makes them such a strong leader. You know, they've had definable leadership moments in their life, and it really gives them the courage and the strength to dig in into hard situations and really learn and grow. So today, I'm really pleased to have Crystal Mitchell, who is the EHS manager of PPG Huntsville. We're going to talk to her today. She has worked so hard to invest in learning and leading by listening. So we want to pick her brain today. But before we start, welcome, Crystal. Thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you. And thank you for having me, Melissa.
So Crystal, I have watched you for a long time now, and really just kind of walked with you to learn and to really watch you develop this listening skill. You know, listening it sounds like it's an easy thing to do. And as leaders, you know, we have supposed to have acquired this skill over time, but really when it boils down, listening is a very difficult thing to do, a very, very difficult thing to do. So,
Yes.
You know, the task can get ahead of us, and really digging in and tasking can really drive us at times. So we need your insight. We need your wisdom today. So we want you to help us. And we want to start by just kind of first of all, will you tell us a little bit about who you are as a leader, and then tell us what you think about listening in general. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, I am Crystal Mitchell. As you said, I majored in mechanical engineering as my background. Back in 2005 is when I graduated. I've been in EHS now for over 15, 16 years, and I really love EHS is what I do. I really I'm passionate about EHS, and I really enjoy working with people on day-to-day events. I am married with 2 kids, so that's a little bit about my background. First of all, before I get into listening, I have to say I have been coached by an awesome and amazing lady named Melissa Jackson. You have really rubbed these rough edges, honey. So first of all, I want to thank you for that. I thank you. I was willing to open my mind and to just listen and to accept what you were trying to give me. And so I really want to thank you for that. Of my improvements have been because of a direct result of what you've done and told me in the past. Thank you. And honey, we still have a long ways to go with I'm here and I'm willing to accept what you want to give me. So thank you. Okay. So when you originally told me about good listening is something that you wanted me to speak on. I laughed because in December of last year, I read a book. The name of that book is One Word That Will Change Your Life. And I was telling you earlier this year, I heard listen. Listen is my word. I heard it over and over again. So for you to ask me to talk about listening, it was ironic. I'm telling you, I'm still working on that myself. Trying. So to me, how you become a better listener is something that we must be willing to make a mind shift, a mind, body, and soul shift, right? To become a better listener. I feel everyone is capable of change, but we have to be willing to make those changes. Most importantly, we have to first understand that there's something that has to change. Right? Once we understand that that's something that we need to do, we should feel obligated to educate ourselves to do better, so that we can fight those or work on those things that we need to improve and develop. To me, what makes a good listener is someone that is willing to humble themselves to a state where they're in servitude and or a civil stance. So I'm being asked to listen, which means I'm being asked to do a service for someone. They need to listen. So a listener to me is someone that seeks to understand what the other person is saying. You capture their ideas and ask value-added questions, right? So to me, a good listener is someone that once I've spoke with them about a conversation, I feel upbeat, confident, motivated. I'm empowered, or I have a sense of relief if that's what is needed. So I'm looking for someone that's not going to criticize me, because I do a great job of that on my own. Okay.
That's tremendous. Such insight, such insight. You know, it really takes some choice behind slowing down and getting yourself in the right mindset to truly listen to someone else. And you use that word, you know, humility. And as a strong leader that you are, and that a lot of leaders are, you know, it really takes being aware for all of us to slow down and allow ourselves to become almost a student, you know, almost a student of another person, so that we can get ourselves in the mindset to really listen to understand someone. So good insight. Thank you for that. So what are your thoughts around, you know, as leaders, why do we not listen well? What are all the things that, you know, really keep us from being able to get in that mindset and listen well? What would you say those things are?
Well, you mentioned quite a few earlier. Assuming we were multitaskers. So in human performance, I learned that we are not multitaskers. It's a myth. You cannot do it. Something is going to fall by the wayside. Asking is not something that we were made to do. Hijacking the conversation. I have to constantly remind myself in conversations, it's not about me. Don't hijack the conversation, just listen. Assuming I have all the right answers, or even knowing where the conversation is headed or how it should end. And even assuming the speaker is asking for my advice. Sometimes a person just wants to get something off their chest and walk away. They're not asking for feedback or your ideas. They just want to talk. Have to understand and discern the difference between, you know, when they want some feedback and when they just want you to listen. And it takes time. Relating to every situation is a major oops, don't do that. Someone can be telling you something and it's an automatic, oh, I know exactly how you feel, or there and done that, and let me tell you what I did. Hijacking the conversation, right? And most importantly, distractions. Put the phone down, put the iPad down. In the office, I have to constantly stop myself from typing and turn to the person, point your toes toward the person and listen to them. So those are some of the ideas that I have while we're not good at listening.
It's so true. Very, very true. And I like how you're framing this. You know, we actually at times have to position ourselves, move away from the computer, make eye contact, invest that way to really listen. So many nuggets there. So for Crystal, Crystal being the leader, tremendous leader that you are, what is something in the last, let's say, 6 months that you have intentionally stopped doing in order to listen the way you want to? What would be one of those, you know, authentic things that you've intentionally worked at to stop doing so you could listen the way that you want to listen?
So years ago, I was taught, you know, when you're listening, you're gesturing, you're nodding your head, you're blinking your eyes, you're doing all of these things. And later on in life, I learned, well, there's a such thing as overdoing the ball head. You're not thinking about it, and you're just bobbing your head, or you're making the And there's a such thing as too much blinking. I'm blinking my eyes way too much to be paying attention to you. I call that the look. So don't become a human bobblehead and the excessive blinking. It can happen. It actually makes people feel like you're not engaged. I've been and I've done it, and I've had it performed on me, and I understand now. It feels like, okay, they're not listening to me, so why should I continue to talk? That's one of the main things that I still have to focus on, and taking the conversation, again, making it about myself and getting on the defensive end, that I work on constantly. You know, it's not about me. It's about me listening to them and caring for them. And one of the nuggets that my husband gave me is having my mind already made up for that individual. You know, let them speak, let them decide. It's my job to help them by asking the right value-added questions. But it's not my job to ultimately determine for them what they should do if they're coming to me for advice. And multitasking, trust me, multitasking is a myth. Don't do it.
So you're working to align your nonverbal cues with being able to demonstrate that you're listening. So you're doing that, you know, with your mind, but you're also doing that with what your body's saying on the outside and being aware of that. And you mentioned the questions. So it sounds like you're intentional about trying to, you said value added questions. So you're intentional to try to be prepared in a sense, or hone in to the heart of maybe a question that you want to ask, so that you can demonstrate listening at a deeper level. So powerful, very powerful, Crystal.
Thank you.
So what do you think? What are some tips? Give us some tips. What are some things that, you know, we need to start doing as leaders? We really need to kind of lean in closer, lean in stronger. What are some tips you could give us on listening to lead well?
Yes. So thought about this, and I was thinking the triple A's. My fabulous Melissa Jackson gave me the twist, right? The triple A's. So the first one, awareness. Awareness involves me being able to discern where my headspace is at the current moment, right? Walks into my room and they're demanding my attention. So I have to understand my situational awareness as well as theirs. What's my body language? What's my face saying? What's my face saying right now? And time is so important. So if I don't have the time at that moment, can I negotiate or reschedule a better time? But again, I have to understand where they are at that moment in time. And if it's something that I'm working on, then can I reset my priorities? Can I put aside and be there for them, right? Because priorities can change, and I have to be able to understand the difference. So if I'm going to restructure my schedule and make time for them, then I need to be there and truly be there and make time to dig deep, as you were saying earlier, and give my all. And that falls into the second A, which is attitude, right? No one likes to engage with someone that is just not mentally present. It just doesn't work. You have to be there and be present and dig deep, like you were saying earlier. So not because you have to, but because you want to. And this is what you want someone to do for you. I would want the same thing. It's a reciprocal situation. Number two, for attitude, I must remind myself that if I want their opinion, or if they want my opinion, they'll ask for it. Remember speaking earlier, sometimes they don't want you to say anything. They just want you to listen, but you have to discern the difference. Respect and humbleness is needed and warranted when you're in the listening mode. We have to understand that. So so I'm humbling and respecting what you need right now. My third and final A is adjust. I'm nowhere near perfect. It's okay. I'm aware of that, and I'm willing to adjust when necessary. So within one listening setting, I may have to reset several times And it's okay. I have to be okay with that. I have to understand that I'm not perfect, and it's okay. It's okay to reset. Realize the current situation and rectify it if need be. There's no limit on the amount of times that I have to reset. The ultimate goal is to provide the servitude needed at the moment in time for that individual, because it's not about me, it's about them.
Mm,
So
mm.
that's what I have.
Tremendous. Tremendous. Thank you. Thank you for that. So we want to challenge those that listen to this video, these leaders that are in the midst of doing difficult things and digging in. So as you have said, leaders, are you aware? Are you aware of how you come across as you listen? So I want to challenge you to think about that. I want to challenge you as you think about your attitude. What kind of attitude are you demonstrating? Because people can pick up on that. And then I love what you said about adjust. We need to give ourselves the opportunity when we get it right, or if we fail, especially when we fail. When we fail to listen well, are we adjusting ourselves so that we can learn from that and we can kind of shift gears and get back into that mode that we need to be in order to listen well to others? So you've given us great insight today, great wisdom. As always, you're a tremendous leader, and we really appreciate you speaking into our life. And so our challenge is here. What are we going to do with this? How can you use this insight to really allow it to be a mirror to look at yourself? So leaders, look at yourself today. Take a long look, evaluate yourself, be willing to make some adjustments so that you can listen to lead really well, because those people that you lead need that and they're looking for it. So thank you, Crystal, for today. We really appreciate your time, and we look forward to how this is going to make a difference in people's lives.
Thank you. Thank you, Melissa. Appreciate it.